In this video, I'm going to teach you the 6 major differences between hearing aid technology levels and how to determine which one is right for you. Coming up. Hi guys, Cliff Olson, Doctor of Audiology and founder of Applied Hearing Solutions. And on this channel, I cover a bunch of hearing-related information to help make you a better informed consumer. So if you're into that, consider hitting the subscribe button. Selecting a hearing aid that meets your needs requires 2 things. First, identifying the style of the device that you would need, and 2, more importantly, the level of technology inside of the device. Now, hearing aids function a lot like computers, and what I mean by that is that you could have 2 completely similarly looking computers. They look exactly the same, but on the inside, they may have technology differences. So if you're the type of person who just likes to surf the internet, go on Google and Facebook, you could get away with a computer that has very basic internal components and software. However, if you're the type of person who likes to stream a lot of movies, play a lot of games, do a lot of things that requires a lot of storage, you might need a computer that has a larger hard drive, quicker processor, and different things like that to allow you to do those things that you need to do on that computer. Hearing aids are really the same in that fashion, is that the style of the hearing aid doesn't matter so much. When you look at 2 different devices, they might look exactly the same, but the level of technology inside of them can be drastically different, and that can control whether or not you have success with hearing treatment or you don't. Most manufacturers have 3 to 4 different tiers of technology level, anywhere from premium at the very top all the way down to basic at the very bottom. Now, one important characteristic that I want to make sure that I explain is that there is no such thing as an entry-level hearing aid. There is just a hearing aid that either meets your needs or a hearing aid that does not meet your needs. It doesn't matter where you are on the spectrum of treating your hearing loss. What matters are the things that you are requiring of that device, is that device capable of meeting those requirements? Now, unlike computers, hearing aid technology is a lot more linked to the software inside of the device rather than hardware differences inside of the device. You'll have 2 identical devices. They will use the same receivers, they will use the same microphones, they will have the same push button, volume control on them, but at the end of the day, it's the software and the computer chip that's inside of these hearing aids that will function differently and make them perform better or worse for you. There are 6 major differences that you need to look at when determining the right hearing aid technology level for you. The first one is customizability. What I mean by customizability is that a hearing aid amplifies to a certain range, and what I mean is by frequency. And so when you get a hearing aid, if you have a lot of channels in that hearing aid, it allows the audiologist to make more precise adjustments with the way that they're amplifying sound for you. For instance, if you had a hearing aid with, let's say, 3 channels, and you could only raise the bass, mids, and treble in a hearing aid, you would get a very crude approximation of what your prescription is for your hearing loss. And you might feel like you're not really getting the precision in your hearing that you would be hoping for. On the other hand, with a really premium level of technology, you can get up to 20 plus channels in a hearing aid that allow you to very specifically, or allow the audiologist to very finely tune that device and get your hearing aid programmed really nicely up to your hearing loss prescription. The second major difference in hearing aid technology is the device's ability to function well in background noise. Pretty much all hearing aids, as long as they're wireless, have the capability of binaural synchronization. Simply what that means is that the hearing aids can communicate back and forth between themselves. What that does is it actually improves your ability to hear in background noise, because instead of just having 2 microphones on each ear, it actually have 4 microphones that can communicate with each other and tell each other what the listening landscape is. But the premium level hearing devices have more features along with that to help you perform better in a background noise situation. So for instance, with a premium level piece of hearing technology, you could be at dinner with your family and friends at a restaurant and be able to hear the person at the table around you better than you would if you had just a basic level of hearing technology. The third major difference is the ease of use. Premium level devices have features inside of them and programs inside of them that account for many different situations that you might find yourself in. When you start going down to a basic level device, it might only have a few programs, and programs that you might even have to adjust manually. Generally speaking, basic hearing aids have around 3 programs. One that will allow your hearing aids to pick up sound from all directions, otherwise known as calm situations. The second program would generally be something like a speech and noise program, where when it identifies noise, it kind of puts blinders on and focuses the microphones forward at the person that you're looking and talking to, while not amplifying so much the people around you. The third one might be something like a music program, which allows sound to come in more naturally. There's much less processing happening inside of a music program. When you step up a level of technology into more of the mid-range technology, you'll get more programs added in. For instance, maybe a comfort and noise program where when it senses noise in your area but you're not talking directly to someone, it just softens all of that background noise. And maybe even a program that handles reverberation a little bit better, or otherwise known as an echo, a type of situation where you're in a big empty room with hard walls, hard floors, hard ceilings, and all that sound is bouncing around, and you want to control for that a little bit better. Once you start stepping up to the premium level technology, generally a hearing aid has a program for pretty much any situation you could find yourself in. Whether it's the car, whether it's at home, whether it's at a restaurant, it doesn't matter. It generally has a program for it, and over the years they've gotten a lot more advanced in how they process sound. That being said, it also does things automatically. So if you find yourself going into your vehicle and having a conversation with your spouse or a friend inside of your car, the hearing aid automatically puts it into the speech in car situation so you can hear them a lot better in that specific environment. Imagine that hearing aid being able to do that in any situation you find yourself in, and putting you into the exact settings that you need to be to hear the best in that environment. This means that you don't have to constantly be clicking a program button to find the right setting for you. In fact, they've done research on this, and they know that the hearing aid can identify the program that's right for you better than what you can as a human trying to identify that situation. The fourth major difference is comfort in sound. And what I mean by that is when you find yourself in these different environments that might have different harsh types of sounds like wind or background noise, things like that, the hearing aid, it has different digital features in there to kind of get rid of those annoying sounds that you don't want to hear. Whereas a basic level device might not have all of those features or have them functioning to their full capacity. For instance, a wind feature. Right? If you find yourself out on the golf course, for instance, you might have wind coming at you from all directions. With a premium level device, it will be able to identify that there's wind coming in and be able to block out that wind, whereas a basic level device won't have those types of digital features to remove that wind. And what that results in is you struggling to hear more in a windy setting or a noisy setting than someone who would have a premium level device. Now, difference number 5 is connectivity. And this isn't always the case with premium level versus basic level, but most of the times when you're talking about connectivity with a phone or other Bluetooth devices, you're gonna have to get into the higher levels of technology levels. That being said, most of the companies do have some kind of Bluetooth connectivity all the way down to their basic levels, but when you start going even below the basic levels, they probably won't even give you that option, and there are several companies who have that as an issue. That being said, it also goes not just for Bluetooth connectivity, but rechargeability. Rechargeability is something that has been coming out pretty strong recently. Most of the companies want to have this rechargeability aspect, but most of them don't give you access to it unless you're in the upper levels of technology. What this means for you is that if you want to have really good connectivity and you even potentially want rechargeability, you're going to have to go with a more premium or mid-level device if you want that and you want it to work well. Last but not least, difference number 6 is cost. Yes, if you want that premium level technology over that basic level of hearing aid technology, you are going to have to spend more money to get it. And when I mean spend more money, it's generally going to cost you at least $1,000 more for a premium level piece of technology than it does for a basic level piece of hearing aid technology. Now, if you take a minute to break that down, and really, what does that cost you annually to go with a premium level piece of technology versus a basic level piece of technology, is about $250 per ear per year. And so generally, if we look at maybe $2,000, you split that out over 4 years, that's about $500 a year additionally that you will pay for the more premium level of hearing technology. Now, is it worth it? Well, it is worth it if you need those features or want those features to be able to hear better in all of these variety of environments that you find yourself in. But if you're literally someone who sits at home all day and maybe just watches TV and has quiet conversations with 1 or 2 visitors at a time, then you'll probably be okay with the basic level technology. However, most of us find ourselves in complex listening environments at least 1 or 2 times a week, whether that's going to church, whether that's going to a restaurant, whether you're having a family get-together, and so forth. And if you have basic level technology, when you find yourself in those complex listening environments, you will not perform as well. From a research standpoint, researchers really haven't been able to specifically identify how much benefit a premium level device gets you over a basic level device. So if you look at it from a macro level, a very wide, broad range level, you won't be able to find studies that actually indicate that premium level technology does any better than basic level technology. But when you start working on a one-to-one basis with patients, I see it all the time. If you ever take someone and put them from a basic into a premium, they notice the difference immediately. And this is likely due to the fact that we can customize it better for their hearing loss. They get these digital features enabled that allow them to hear more in a relaxed type situation. It requires less hands-on adjustment from their standpoint when they find themselves in a tricky situation. And the hearing aids just flat out function better. And I have never seen a case where someone who's been in a premium level device and has been able to switch down to a basic level device because the differences are just too large. Now, it may seem overwhelming to you that there's so many different types of technology and there's several different levels. How do you really find out the one that's right for you? Well, really, that is the responsibility of the hearing care professional that you're going to see. By spending time with you and finding out specifically what type of lifestyle you have, what situations you find yourself in regularly, they should be able to recommend you the right level of technology. So don't be surprised if you come in there saying, I want to hear when I go to my son's baseball games, and I want to go to restaurants and be able to hear, and I want to, go to family gatherings and have no issue there whatsoever. Don't be surprised if they recommend you a premium level piece of technology, because they know that you'll be hearing better with that technology than you would with a basic level hearing device. All right, so I'm going to kind of finish this thing off with a little bit of a secret. And that secret is that it really doesn't matter what level of technology you get if the hearing care professional doesn't fit it well to you. And so what I mean by that is, when I say fitting it well to you, I mean programming it, and programming it using real ear measurement or real ear verification. This is the way that you make sure that a hearing aid is fit up to your prescriptive levels. And when you do that, then all of these features and the great things about these really nice premium level hearing aids, that's when all of it really starts to come out and you start to perceive that benefit. But I can tell you one thing, a basic level device fit properly to you and programmed properly to you will perform better than a premium level device that did not use real ear measures and was not appropriately fit to you. That's it for this video. If you liked it, go ahead and give it a thumbs up. If you want to see more videos just like this one, all you need to do is hit the subscribe button. I'll see you next time.